Okay, welcome to this morning's millage rate hearing. We're going to have a moment of silence to be followed by the Pledge of Allegiance. So if you would, stand with me. Thank you. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, the purposes of the meeting is to conduct a public hearing to provide for citizen input pertaining to the county's proposed fiscal year ending June 30th, 2023 millage rate increase. So at this time, I will turn it over to Ms. Merritt, interim CFO, and we will go through the presentation. Ms. Merritt.
Good morning. Emmett Smith, tax assessor, is going to talk about the county's growth first.
Good morning. Of course, this is our second hearing on the millage rate. I wanted to represent the county's growth as far as some information. I've got just a few slides here. So this is basically a recap of a presentation that was put before the Board of Commissioners back on 6/7 by Ms. Dees. This was just showing the value increases that have occurred in the county since the pandemic started. As you can see, the increases mainly from 21 to 22, we had a 47% increase, and we're still seeing a continuation of that increase, almost another 10 or 12% on top of that to the current of 264.5 of the median. New home sales have also gone up in the county in the last year from 268,000 to 312,000. Also, the average rent in Clayton County now is up to $1,800 a month. This is just a synopsis of where we are as far as to our neighbors in the county. You can see that our median home prices this past year was $235,000, whereas Henry County was $345,000, Fayette was $452,000, and Fulton was $550,000. That just shows that we're still got the most affordable houses here. The last thing, this was just an information from our office. The overall gross digest was up 13% this year. Most of the increases was due to, as we just presented in the last two slides, the heavy increase in residential. We did maintain our assessment level as a whole at a 38.03, which means we're about 12 to 15% in the taxpayers' favor for this past year. And actually, I can update that we were also, we just got our Department of Audits information back just the other day. I think it was forwarded to Chairman Turner also. The audits from Department of Audit is at a 37.55 level. That's not on the side. This just actually came in the other day. So that's showing we're still a little bit more taxpayer friendly as our assessment levels went up with all the increases going on. Also in 20 and 21, we did maintain below a 39. We were about 38.5 to 38.75 during those years, which also kept us at about a 10% more in the taxpayers' favor. As this crazy market's been going on, we've still got some buffer there. And so that was just kind of a synopsis of the growth of the county over the last couple of years, it's mainly being the 21 to 22 growth. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman, Commissioner. I grew up in Milledgeville, Georgia, and the fellow went to church, and he was the only fellow in the audience. And the preacher got up, and he preached, I don't know, an hour and a half, read all kind of Bible verses, and when he got done, he sang 7 verses of Just As I Am. When he got done, he did the benediction, and the old farmer, he walked out on the porch, and the preacher followed him. And the preacher said, "Well, how you think I did?" And the farmer said, "Well, it was pretty good, but did you have to go on so long?" And the preacher says, look, you're a farmer. Don't you have cows? He said, yes. If you go out to feed your cows and don't but one cow show up, ain't you still going to feed them? He said, yeah, but I ain't going to dump the whole load. So I'm thinking about.
Is that your way of saying you're going to be long, Mr. Ward?
I ain't going to be long, Mr. Chairman, unless y'all make me. So I just want to go straight to this one. You know, this is a hearing to set the millage rates, and because we're not rolling the millage rate back 100%, we have to have these 3 public hearings. Today's the 2nd public hearing. This is your general fund, and so because of the growth in the tax digest, you can roll your taxes back. So if you can see in 21, the net millage rate was 14.746 mils. Staff is recommending we roll it back to 14.496 mils. So it's not a complete rollback based on the tax digest. And so we have to have these hearings to talk about setting that millage rate. We're asking you to set the millage rate for the general fund at 14.496 mils. And then in the fire district, you had a 4.75 mil. Here we are right here for the fire district. You're limited to 5 mils. You levied 4.75 mils last year. We're talking about keeping it at 4.75 mils. It'll bring in slightly more money than it did in the previous year, so therefore we have to have a public hearing on that because we're not rolling the fire district millage rate all the way back. And we had a slide to show what it would mean to the average taxpayer, but it ain't on here.
It should be.
Somehow it's gone. There it is, right there. So here's the 22 tax bills for your June 30, 2023 fiscal year. You can see what it means for a $150,000 house. The middle line is the proposed. So it's $150,000 times 40% would be a $60,000 assessed value. You can see it, the 14.496 mill rate there, sort of in the middle of the page. This average taxpayer without a homestead exemption would pay $896 for the M&O, and for the fire district it'd pay 4.75 mils or $285. So it'd be a total tax burden of $1,154. Last year, right next to it was $1,169. So it's a $15 difference. This concludes my report, Mr. Chairman.
Amen.
I saw something about the lost.
So the
You
local,
mentioned it.
yes, ma'am. So Commissioner Hanneman, the local option sales tax was passed in 1978, and every 10 years we renegotiate it with the cities, and the local option sales tax rolls back property taxes.
Go to the screen showing it.
Oh. There we go, right there. And so you can see the sales tax credit of 3.701 mils. So the Georgia law requires us to take last year's local option sales tax and roll back property taxes dollar for dollar. And so there's a sales tax credit. So if you did not have the local option sales tax, the millage rate would be 18.197 mils. But because you got that local option sales tax, we're able to roll property taxes back and save the property taxpayers money. And so the average millage, the new net millage rate is 14.496 mils.
It's another screen that actually had lost.
Okay, yeah, we were showing the history of how.
Yeah, go back. Well, right there.
Is it this sheet here, Commissioner?
That's one of them, yes.
And so this is your millage rate history, how you have gone down over the years. So looking, the green part, 2018, it shows the local option sales tax amount and how it's rolling back. And so you can see the amount of money that we've collected from local option sales tax each of the last 5 fiscal years and how we've used that to roll property taxes back. So to give an example, in 2018, the millage rate would have been 20 mils and change, but because you're using local option sales tax to roll it back, that year the net millage rate was 15.5 mils. And you can see, because your property tax digest is growing in sales tax, the net millage rate we're offering this year is 14.4 mils. So you're nearly a 1 mil property tax lower from 18 to this year. And that's a combination of growth in your tax digest and the fact that your local option sales tax helps you roll it back. Did that answer the question?
I still didn't see that same screen, but that's fine.
Yes, ma'am.
Any other questions? All right, this is a public hearing, so at this time, I will ask if anyone would like to speak in favor or opposition of the millage rate proposal. Anyone like to speak in favor or opposition to? All right, seeing and hearing none. At this time, we stand adjourned. Adjourned.